a sec to cut and paste the agenda into the notes. Get out the old man glasses. I want to have I think we should have Jay add a question to the surveys. Do you wear glasses to the IETF meetings or at the IETF meetings and track how it's, going up over time?
Okay, so we want to get started, and I want somebody online to confirm that they can actually hear us. Because I asked, and
Yeah. Somebody remote. Was it in person?
we can. Marius, thank you, Marius.
Oh, all right. Okay, great.
Excellent. Okay. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Welcome to IETF 124 in my hometown of Montreal. We have a new note. Well, it is a reminder about the processes and policies, including about conduct, privacy, and intellectual property rights you agree to follow when you participate in the IETF. Please read it carefully. You are encouraged to read the source documents to which the note well refers. If you have questions, please talk to the working group chairs or area directors when they show up.
Yeah, our Mike, our responsible AD, has got a non-com interview, so he will be here. He'll be gone for the first hour of the meeting. And I told him probably so will the rest of us. So if you have an issue with Darryl or myself, find Mike in the hallway because he's unlikely to be here.
Please make sure you sign in to the on-site tool or scan the QR code at the door. Please join the mic queue if you have something that you want to say. And remote participants, if you join, please make sure your audio and video off, or unless you are chairing or presenting during a session. With that, there are some links here in the slides. Slides are in the usual place in data tracker. And let's get started. It should be a fairly quick session. We don't have a whole lot of content, so we have a minute taker. Rich volunteered to be minute taker. We have one request for agenda bashing, which is we're going to move Mark to the front of the queue to talk about link hints.
Why don't we switch the whole documents section up to in front? So Austin's here too, so why don't we just do that?
Right, indeed, we can do that. Unless there's any other agenda bashing that folks want to do, we can get started with Mark with an update on the link hints document. Yeah. Wherever you like.
Oof.
Just don't two people talk at once.
Guess you went too far.
Yeah,
No, it's a hot mic.
Okay, the pink box is over here and the microphone's there. I'm not sure what to do.
Turn
Fix
the
it.
mic.
Well, I'm just gonna.
No, I think the pink box is where you're supposed to stand.
I know, but okay.
Someone remote give AV advice?
Yeah. The link hint document, I think it's at a point now where it's pretty much ready for working group last call. I probably want to do one more editorial run through it to make sure that it still is in English. But beyond that, I think it's ready for folks to take one last look at it. It's baked for a while now. So if anybody has any immediate feedback, we can talk about that. Otherwise, I'd suggest maybe just start working group last call. I am a little surprised that no one has suggested that we add a hint to assist AI in using links, but perhaps that'll come out in working group last call.
We want it to be a negative hint. Do not use this for AI.
Preferences, no, no.
Yeah,
No.
AI and
Hinty preferences, yes.
Dev null.
Yes.
I have plans, Mark.
I'm sure you
Well,
do. I'm sure you do.
So, how many people have looked at the document? And I'll give a. How many people have read the document recently? Okay.
My hand's still down.
Yeah. All right. So you'll do one more edit pass, and then we'll go to the last call.
I don't know that we need to block on that. Like it would just be an editorial pass. So if folks want to, as long as people don't, do, an editorial pass themselves, just assume that, we're looking for substantive issues, not editorial nits.
Okay. Well, we have two that are in or about to go into last call. So
I'm
let's.
also happy to wait. Yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
queue it up after that, and if I happen to do editorial pass before, then that's fine. But
Okay.
more than anything, I think it's maybe that last chance to say, okay, if there's another obvious hint that we've missed, this is your opportunity to maybe get it in, or at least have a discussion about it. But it should be kind of core to HTTP semantics, not AI.
We need to be inclusive, Mark.
I'm sorry. Yes. Inclusive of the robots.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll put
Okay.
AI in the
Right.
minutes, so that will
Okay.
wake
Yeah.
people up.
I watched The World's End on the plane on the way over, and that movie has new kind of resonance now, I think. But anyway.
Austin, would you like to talk about the latest update with byte range?
Sure. I don't actually know if I have any content updates since the last meeting. Byte range patch, it's a media type for performing patches or writing at a specific offset in a document. It comes in a message variation and a binary variation. There's a few active issues on if we want, which came up early on, and I added them only fairly recently to add other media types that are fairly well established and well defined in other standards organizations or even earlier IRCs, but they just don't have a media type. I think that would be within the scope of the document, just for registering media types that edit on opaque byte documents instead of specific documents like JSON patch does. So I think those are 2 or 3 issues that are open. And then also just, I feel like there should be implementations, but maybe that's a chair question. So are there any questions about byte range patch? Or any feedback? I saw Marius also had one email. So if you're listening, thank you.
So there has been a number of conversations about overlap with other work that's going on in the HTTP working group. Has your document now narrowed the scope of it so that it is independent and separate?
The scope should be narrowly just registration of media types.
Okay.
And I think there's one HTTP preference as well, which is related.
Okay. Cool. So you said there's just a few open issues, and then once those are resolved, we can look into working group last call for this document?
Yes.
And yes, implementations would be awesome.
I have one implementation, but multiple are always welcome.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you, Austin.
Okay.
So going back to the section on brief document updates, did I just feel problem types has gone into working group last call? Which it ends November 10th. So if anyone has any last minute feedback on that document, I believe, Marius, do you have anything that you want to add?
I don't think there's anything to add.
Okay. Excellent. The HTTP privacy document is now in has completed working group last call. There was an update to it, which I have noted as, yes, we really, really do need this, was basically what the paragraph said. next up is to produce a Shepherd document for that, which is on me. And then that will be able to move into the next step of the process. The REST API media types, didn't see Roberto online. There was an update today, I believe, a new version that was released. It has a clarification on the version parameter in the media type. It's really just a media type registration. So there's a clarification there that references the Open API specification. So that working group last call has completed a while back. Again, just need a Shepherd document, which again is on me. JSON structure. There have been a numerous set of conversations over the past few IETFs about JSON structure and the current state of JSON schema. It has been expressed that this working group would not be the right place to continue work on JSON structure. There was a conversation with art area ADs the other day, yesterday, and there is enthusiasm and momentum to try and get to a final released JSON schema. I believe Lisa Dussault is going to try and, oh, yes, I didn't see you there, my apologies. Why am I saying this when you're right there?
Do you, I can just offer to be, I guess, a point of coordination. Even if we don't know where it's going to happen yet, I'm happy to corral the energy, the people who are interested, and I'm Lisa Dussault.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Welcome back to the IETF.
So, Austin, you should definitely talk with Lisa. Well, no, I'm saying afterwards, you should definitely chat with Lisa. Excellent. So, there are two other documents here in the ready to move to working group last call. If I had thought a little bit harder, I may have suggested that the idempotency C key should not have been under that header. I think there are a number of open issues on there. There's a fairly chunky issue. Some existing idempotency implementations basically just cache the last response and return back the last response. That doesn't feel to me, removing my chair hat, to be the right solution. There's some good issues that I think we need to have a bunch more discussion there around that idempotency key, but it would be great to see some traction in this space, and maybe with a lot of the other documents now moving to working group last call, we can change our focus and try and get that idempotency key document cleaned up, because there certainly is a lot of enthusiasm to having that completed, and I'm seeing efforts to do idempotency in other places that could benefit from such a standard. I don't believe Sanjay or Jebediah are on the call.
Yeah, it's a little early for that.
Yes. Okay, so then let's just cover rate limit headers, and then we will talk about events query.
All right, finish this. I want to go back to the JSON structure because it wasn't clear to me what the status was, but do it after you get rate limit.
Okay. So we have asked for a HTTP Directorate review for the rate limit headers to get feedback on that. Oh yes, removing chair hat because I'm now primary author at the moment on this. There has been one recent update which addressed this particular issue, which was most appreciatively provided by Cloudflare, there was some lack of clarity over what the T parameter or the reset parameter on the rate limit header meant. What it did say is that it indicated the number of seconds until a quota associated with the quota policy resets, which was an inference that the complete window had ended and then you were going to get all of that quota back. That didn't work well with sliding window algorithms, and there became this contradiction between some of the constraints that we'd added around the retry after header and this reset. And so the text was changed to say the T parameter indicates the number of seconds until additional quota associated with the quota policy is made available. And because in a sliding window, you will get more quota made available to you when previous requests slide out of the sliding window. So that text is now in the document, and the only open issue, technical open issue, is this item. I posted this issue, asked for feedback, have not received any opinion one way or the other. Currently, policies use an SF string, so that means that it must be quoted, which adds a little bit of noise into the rate limit policy, but it makes it really obvious and really easy to put spaces and things like that in your policy. There's another option where we could use SF token as the name of those policies, as is shown in the second example. That was not chosen just because of this text in 9651 that sort of discouraged the use of token. Mark.
Yeah, that text is more like a guideline. You'd be fine using token here. It's more natural, I think, in a textual header. The one thing you have to keep in mind is that there are some slightly weird constraints on tokens. For example, they can't start with a number. But if you're aware of and happy to live within those constraints, you're fine. The other thing you could do is specify it to be either a token or a string. And that way you can, have flexibility if you need a large space of potential identifiers there, including perhaps even spaces, you could do that. But if you wanted something short and sweet, you could use a token. It's really up to you. I am sure that if Julian's on the call, he will get into queue to disagree with me, but that's how I feel.
That is interesting that you said it could be token or a string. It wasn't clear to me that when defining structured fields that was a potential option. I kind of got the feeling that it was a type, and the concept of union types as values was not a thing. So that's good information.
We don't have a schema language for structured fields yet. Moo-hoo, ha ha ha. Yeah, I think that some might say that it is not good practice to have a union type there. But in fact, many specifications already do. So,
do we have any knowledge of implementation support for that? Like if we did it,
I mean, yeah, it works. I mean, the whole idea of structured types is that it's dynamic. You parse, you look at the first character of each, nibble, and you say, oh, okay, well, this is, this starts with a quote, it must be a string. This starts with a lowercase alpha character, it must be a token, that sort of thing. Okay. It's a dumb algorithm, but here we are.
No worries, Lucas. I just saw his comment.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your opinion, Mark. If anybody has another opinion on the color of this particular bike shed, I would love to get other feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, I just more than anything, I would push back against reading the tea leaves of the RFC to lead to that conclusion. That wasn't the intent behind that phrasing, although I can totally see why you would read it that way.
I respect these things that are written in these hallowed documents.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
And with
He's
that,
from Microsoft too.
okay, that's rate limiting. Let's go back to the agenda.
Just one comment about the string versus token. I would personally just go with a string, and then people can put more stuff in it than the token would allow. For example, starting with a digit. I think then there's less hassle about what can go in there. And yeah, I think the 2 additional quotes, I think that's not too much overhead.
Okay, thank you. That was Marius, I believe. Apologies for not seeing you in the queue. Okay. Back to our agenda. HTTP events query. I do not believe we have a presentation on this. Sorry?
Rahul's on.
Oh, Rahul. My apologies, Rahul.
Yeah, I'm overdressed for the event. Do
Okay.
you not hear me well, or?
I'm just old and have bad hearing. You're all good.
Yeah. Speak.
Okay, would you like to move the slides for me again, please?
Yes, I will do that.
I need to give me a moment, please. I'll set up my presentation. Right. So I'm Rahul, as always, a notifications enthusiast. Next slide, please. I can't actually see the slides yet. So let me do a quick recap of events query for those who might have missed the previous session. Events query is a very, very minimal addition on top of HTTP using the query method for getting notifications. That is, you just add a query with a request body that is constrained to an abstract data type. And there is one extra events header, which I'm hoping might go away with incremental. And it defines some minimal response semantics for both supporting long polling as well as streaming. Next slide, please. Yeah, so just let me go over the design goals. So first thing we want to do is we want to add notifications to any resource. That is, we don't want to define a new resource. We want to use an existing resource and have notifications working there with the query. Second, we want to fetch, we want to do everything on one protocol. So because we are already fetching on HTTP, we also want to have notifications on HTTP. And it would further be nice if we can get the notifications and representation in the same request itself. Also, we want the notifications to be reliable and in order to minimize the burden on the client. Then we want to support content negotiation, so we can support different formats for notifications, such as if you want to transmit a binary format or say a delta between a previous version and that, so that we can say in the future support CRDBs. And finally, we want to design it in a way that intermediaries are able to scale and reduce latency and improve the reliability of notifications in the way they do for representations right now. Okay, so next slide, please. So there are very while I've done a substantial rewrite between the previous and current draft, there are very minimal changes. It's mostly like text corrections. So one thing I did was I added a comparison with server sent events based on the comment by Daryl last time. And it turns out that there are way too many hacky implementations of server sent events. I also received a comment on this by Marius. He told me that I should think of server sent events as a general technique, and event source is its specific standard that implements that technique. Though lots of implementations don't follow event source, and as I had discussed last time, event source is essentially frozen. Also, I added an example with JSON sequence, which is based on a comment by Mark to me privately. So it can demonstrate that there is content negotiation for notification, the encapsulating body in which notifications will be sent. So you could send, say, I had application / HTTP previously, but you could do multi-part, you could do JSON sequence, JSON lines, or whatever composite media type you want to use for sending notifications. And then one more thing based on my implementation was that I have now made it such that you don't need to run the events property in the query to get long polling. Previously, it had to be an empty query. So I did it for the reason that I think there is a value in having still defining the what representation you want, because that can say for what kind of diff you want to receive in the future in a notification. So I've just left it that way. I appreciate some comments on that. Next slide, please. So I have a demonstration based on Express. So please go and have play with it and let me know what you think about it. What I hope to impress with this is that this is very easy to implement. Less than 1,000 lines of code in which I'm doing some pretty sophisticated content negotiation, and it's very, once you get the various moving parts concern separated, it's really easy to implement. Yeah. So next slide, please. So the question now I have for the group is, are we ready to adopt this specification? Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. I guess the obvious question is, have folks read the updated draft?
Go ahead, Austin.
You're in the queue.
Hello, Raul. Yeah, this is, I think, a space that needs a new foundation. Some of the old mechanisms are not very interoperable. Could you describe, does this document provide any benefit to intermediaries or CDNs? Is there a reason that this needs to be a standard instead of, what benefit does this offer instead of just providing a JavaScript library? Are you still on?
Had a connection drop. So Austin,
Did you get my question?
I didn't hear your question. Can you please repeat yourself? Thank you.
This is a space that I think definitely needs a little bit of a new foundation. There's some of the existing HTTP event streams and is not sufficient. WebSockets is not generally interoperable, that sort of thing. Can you tell me, does this document provide benefits to intermediaries or CDNs or things like that beyond just having a software library, a JavaScript library?
So I haven't implemented anything, but the way the standard is structured, it's basically a response. And with incremental, you could, intermediaries could be forwarding those responses.
So
And-
it sounds like the incremental HTTP header solves a lot of the problems that we've been looking for.
Incremental helps because incremental will prevent the buffering of the messages. So that's one part of the thing. And the thing is, I'm hoping that I've defined an events header there, and I'm hoping the duration can become a part as an incremental parameter instead of being a part of the specification eventually.
Okay. Like I said, this identifies a foundation that I think HTTP needs, but there's a lot of separate parts that I think need to be separately identified, which I'd have to go on at length about. One regarding how we talk about responses that are indefinite length responses versus fixed responses. I think this is tangential or slightly somewhat related to
Right.
if I'm uploading a resource to a web server, if a client makes a GET request for that same resource, do you see only the portion of the resource that has been currently uploaded, or is that download going to be held open until your upload finishes? I think this is sort of the same problem that you're talking about with the events header. And I think this problem space needs to be explored a little more.
Right. So, Austin, the initial thought I would have on this is that whatever is the last state of the resource at the time the query finishes, the query arrives at the server, is what the response should be. So if there is an upload in between, I don't think the resource has completely updated at that time. So you should not be sending the resource. You should wait for that. Can be a notification at a later moment when the upload has completed.
Okay. And one more, I guess, a clarifying question. How cacheable is this? Can a cache serve these requests for the subscribe requests?
I don't see a reason why not, because you could have an intermediary which could open a single connection to the origin server and then have the client talk to that intermediary, and the intermediary might, as it gets an update, forward that update to multiple clients.
Okay. I think my position on the document would be, I think it needs to be explored a little bit more. There's a lot of interesting problems here for sure that should be figured out.
Right. While we have Austin on the mic, Austin, can you go back, please?
Yes, hello.
Okay. So, hello. So I had one thing over byte range patch. You suggested you wanted to put define a number of media types in the last session.
Oh, yes.
IETF and all of that. So I would like to use those in reverse on the client side. Like when you get the response, each notification could be a diff, for example. So what I'm wondering is, would you be open to the possibility of moving those media types into a separate draft, which we could move through the process quicker?
I don't know why they would need to move to a different draft. I think the document should satisfy, if we just adopt the document and get it published, that should satisfy the functionality you're looking for, unless I'm misunderstanding you. But yeah, the byte ranges definitely has a little bit of overlap here. With my caching question I had earlier about the HTTP events, I think the behavior could be modified a little bit so that we could use range requests to identify these as the offset of events that we are starting to read at. And then caches could just save the entire journal of changes, things like that. Yeah, I think I see a lot of related problems that these two documents are solving for sure, though.
So I lost the connection, so I've missed about half your answer again. I'm sorry, I have a very flaky connection.
Yeah. How about we take it to the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will take it
a little
to the
bit
list.
tangential.
Yeah. Just to answer on the issue of the reason why I'm not sure about using range request for getting the notification is because then you're essentially going back to the model where your resource is a journal, and that will have to be defined on a separate URI from the resource from which you're getting an update. Whereas if you do a query, you can essentially get anything related to the resource. It does not have to be the representation itself.
Okay.
Okay. Right, we'll take this up in the mailing list.
Sorry?
We'll take this up in the
Yes,
mailing
yes.
list.
Well, list. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest in the topic, and I think if we could get to a clearer understanding of what the value of the document is bringing, so that we can understand why it's worth adopting and bringing it through the working group. I do think there's a lot of value here. But yeah, let's continue to have this conversation on lists to really understand what are the key drivers of this document and what problems we're going to solve with it.
Okay.
Thank you for your presentation, Rahul.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. If I can find the right browser tab, I will bring back the agenda. So the only final item on this agenda is just to call out that the authentication link document has expired. We've pinged the author a couple of times. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of enthusiasm. If you care deeply about this document, let us know, and we can consider bringing it back to life. With that, is there any other business that folks would like to bring up?
Is that Andy in the background with the M, Michigan?
I don't.
Do we have any of the art or wit ADs here who can talk about what's going on with JSON structure?
Oh,
There we go. Thank you.
Do we not have a WIT AD in here? Oh boy. All right. I'm Andy Newton, Art AD. That's a good question. What is going on with JSON structure? We have a mailing list and there's no activity on it as far as I can tell. So that's kind of indicative that there's no energy to do JSON structure. I think that's a different question from JSON schema. And we'll have to see what we do there as well. We do have, with regards to JSON schema, we got word that ECMA was going to work on that. And we have had a conference call with them, and they were considering it. I don't know where they still stand. I have an email to them, which I sent on Monday or Sunday, asking them what the current status is, and they still have not gotten back to us. Doesn't mean that we won't do anything if they are. It's just us trying to figure out what they're doing. So I don't know if that answers your question about JSON structure, but
Yep.
yeah.
Thanks.
go ahead.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, with regard to ECMA, same story. I emailed him back saying, tell me more, and I haven't heard back yet. With regard to JSON structure, I will take the blame for at least a portion of the inactivity. I think it's an interesting idea, and I've had some, I do have a draft email I'm going to get out sooner or later, but more likely later. I think we just have a few, some of the philosophy behind it is different from JSON schema in the sense that it wants to define data models and then create a serialization for that. And I want to feel out how that's different from documents like ASN1, for instance. And I think that's it. I think there was one more thing, but I'll have to remember it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, I think that brings us to the end of this particular meeting. Yeah, thank you for your participation. We will see you all on the list and in GitHub. There's a bunch of documents that we should try and close out as soon as possible. Your feedback helps us do that.
Thanks, folks. Free to stay here and work or go find another session. Or come up and talk to us. All the mic's hot, so we'll move somewhere else.
Yes. I'm gonna go and run to the agent-to-agent meeting.
I was thinking of that, but we have other people there, so I'll go listen to what these guys are saying.